Okay, so it's, we're too close to finishing what I planned to abandon our SPQR battles at this point. And, well, most especially I'm kind of rushing through them or playing through them because I don't have anything I'm really dying to get started on, and I do kind of want to finish these off. Maybe get some other tactical stuff going in a different series or different Great Battles of History, although more leaning towards things like Musket and Pike or maybe the Gamers or something like that to get some of my, I don't know, more recent stuff in terms of time period at this point. Well, I'll come back though. There's a reason I bought all of the Great Battles of History stuff. Anyway, right now we're looking at the Battle of Beth Zur, and this is the first part of the second Hammer of God module that came out. Basically, this is a two-parter. Managed to get Mark Herman to step in and take care of these. Okay. So, in this particular battle, we've got the same situation we had in the first one and then the one that I didn't play, an ambush. And in this one, nobody's on the map again. The Jewish units are going to be able to pop up kind of at will when they wish to. They're not, you don't have to record where they're going to be on the map or anything like that. Terrain's a little different. This river's not here. I forgot to explain on the last one, the woods weren't there, but I played as though they were for part of it. And these streams aren't really streams, they're just wadis, and they don't cause cohesion hits because they're so small, but they do cause a little bit of a movement penalty. We got about the same army as we had in the last battle. This is a new Seleucid force under Lysias, about the same size. In fact, I think it's exactly the same pieces. I think the Jews have exactly the same pieces as well. And what we're going to see is the Seleucids come in from 4236 area. That's down here. Down in this area down here. And they have to march in single file to get to 2200. Wow, where that is, it's got to be up here, up there. And they've got a little bit of exchange, basically off of this line. And they have to pass through 3106 or 3107 in the process. Let's find those suckers. 3106 and 7, this little space here. So they're probably going to skirt and not go straight into the highlands. That would be really, really dangerous. The reason that pass isn't absolute, well, the reason, I'm not actually sure. I'm not sure what it matters where they show up, but the reason the Jews are allowed to kind of pop up wherever they like is you can't have the Seleucids kind of faking it by climbing over here. Not that they're allowed to, actually. I think they've got to stay on level 5 or less throughout the entire game. Yeah, they cannot enter a level 6 or higher hex prior to Jewish deployment. So this is sort of their pass. What this is over here and why they wouldn't go around it, well, I don't know. But they do have to go through that bottleneck, and whatever they end up fighting on is probably not exactly the terrain that they'd be dealing with. So the victory conditions for this are a little different. The Jews have to rout the Seleucids, but the Seleucids can win not just by defeating the Jews, but by exiting at least 25% of their tactical quality of value of their army from up here. And so they've got kind of a better situation. Now they're going to come on the map and march until the Jews decide to start the game. And then they get to swamp in and hit. They've got the same army as they had before. They get this surprise effect. They get to hit in column units. Great. You know, it should be a rough fight for the Seleucids. Even though they have slightly better leadership at this point, they have one extra leader, and he's a good one. And they also have Gorgias, who's their better leader, right in with that. Now, this probably isn't Gorgias, Ptolemy, and Nicanor from the last battle. I think some of them, maybe all of them, were killed. So it's just some stand-ins for them. The next battle is going to be kind of interesting because it gets to be fought on the Seleucids' terms. And historically, they held the ground, even though the Jews got away. And then what's kind of cool there is they have some elephants and chariots and all kind of fun stuff. And then the final battle is sort of a last-ditch attack by Judah with very few troops. And pretty much the end of the revolt there. All right, well, we'll start this one and get to see what's going on. And we're seeing the Seleucids trickle on over here. I haven't put the leaders on the board yet. They're not near where the attacks are going to happen. The attacks pretty much have to happen there. So we'll wait until that. Okay, well, you see them continuing to stream on. I've put some leaders down just because theoretically the Jews could come charging out of these wadis and make the attack here. But in all honesty, I want to do the attack in the pass because I think that's the more historical. It does actually give, I think, the Seleucids a little bit more of a chance because it allows them to be closer to their exit hex. On the other hand, yeah, I'm not sure how much it really helps. I mean, if the Jews come streaming out of these wadis all over them, they're in a lot of trouble, and those big phalanxes are going to get hit. So, I don't know. But at this point, I want to let it move at least a little bit further onward. I may make the choice to make that attack because this is risky where they're standing. Okay, well, by my understanding of the rules for this scenario, this consists of, first of all of this consists of a legitimate setup activity for the Jews to begin the scenario. They've just been lying in wait as the Seleucids march by this wadi. But beyond that, this consists of a legitimate line for the Jews to make a command of. And they're just going to hit the entire Seleucid line, ranging from here down, with these units. They couldn't continue it. I guess there really wasn't anywhere they could have gotten that a movement between the wadi and the hilltop areas in order to, you know, get a bigger attack in. But this is still pretty damn impressive, so we'll see how it works. So the initial disruption isn't as brutal as maybe it first looked like it was going to be. Major breakthrough over here, all these units routed in the center, just pushed through. Down here, though, very little actually, yeah, we got 3 of the phalanxes holding. Here, one of them, 2 of them held. From here on, well, just this guy, we're still in column, which means the Jews may want to try and jump in. The game actually starts now, and we'll be starting with, well, with Nicanor getting the first activation. That's an acceptable activation because he's going to probably try to push forward with his phalanxes, and that the Jews are willing to take that attack. What they're not willing to take, though, is the possibility of a conversion here. So when we get to him, we're probably going to see a trumping in. We may also see it with the routed guy, just to wipe his forces out and to get the attacks on the flanks that we're expecting. And we see the Seleucids pushing back, driving some of the rebels really away in this further extent of things. Of course, it's going to be hard to swing these phalanxes around and get them moving so that they can actually fight their way out. Haven't gotten to this guy over here, the one they were worried about. Simon launched his attack to preempt that and also to jump on Nicanor's momentum. But they allowed Ptolemy to have his full momentum, and that really let him use a lot of his units. Well, after the first turn, we see Lysias brought in his forces, including the light cav, etc. He's not restricted to bring them into the column any longer. And he managed to actually hit some of these units. Well, actually that happened before. We had an attempt at a counterattack here that didn't work very well, and the entire Seleucid front over here collapsed. This is our dead pile. I think this is enough. 2, 3, 4, 5 times 6 is 30, doubled is 60. We only have 46 casualties. This battle's over. The Seleucids have already been routed in one turn of combat after that initial surprise. So that's all we got here. And, you know, yet another Jewish ambush, and the Seleucids just collapse in the face of it. It's just, you can't face that kind of fight in this game. So the next one coming up will be a somewhat more interesting fight because it'll be fought on the Seleucids' terms. We'll see how that works out. But this one's going up.